My name's Roger. 48 years ago, I was adopted at birth. And recently I had a conversation with someone um, that they found encouraging. And I wanted to share a little bit of what we talked about. I grew up in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and basketball is pretty competitive there. We played every day as a kid. And if you know that area, or if you grew up in the city, you know, like, you play ball in the city, basketball is the court is where everybody is playing and it's competitive because winner stays on, loser gets off. And if there's a lot of people out there, you might not get back on the court. So in Coatesville, I mean, we played every day, and I was a pretty good athlete. So always had the ability to get by people. I was quick. And then if you've seen one of my earlier videos, when I was a senior in high school, a friend of mine encouraged me about how to dunk and, to take off a little further away. And so then when I started dunking, it was like, oh, now I not only can I get by you, but I can finish above the rim. And so it was fun, and I enjoyed my time playing in Coatesville. And then from there, I went to Kutztown University, and we played Monday through Thursday and then Saturday all day. And so some competitive games and guys from all over the place. You're at college, people are from everywhere. And I remember there was this guy from Reading who played on, Reading has a semi-pro team. This guy from Reading came, and he was like this trash talker. And the first time I saw him, he was like, I was on the sideline, he's talking trash to everybody out there, and he's like real cocky. And I'm like, man, this guy talks a lot of trash. And so then we get on, and I remember he wasn't guarding me, and then I do whatever, and he's like, oh, I got him. And just to be honest, I killed this kid. And I'm like, this guy's playing semi-pro, like what? So that was Kutztown. Then now I live in Springford area, and probably I'm 48 now, so maybe 10, 12 years ago, I was at the Y here. And I'm just playing at the Y, and maybe a little further back than that, maybe in my early 30s, just playing at the Y. And a high school team comes in, and I didn't know these guys were on the high school team until one of the other kids like, oh, they're from the high school team. I was like, oh, okay. So then we start playing like threes. We're playing threes, and then the high school guys were like, what we got next? And I was like, all right. So my team won, and then the high school stars of the team come out, and this kid, like, I checked the ball up, and this kid like gives me this look like, man, what's this old dude going to do? And like just kind of rolls the ball. And I was never really a big trash talker. I just played. But when he did that, man, that made me hot. And so I said within myself, I'm about to kill this kid. And not literally kill him, but so it was him and two other kids from the high school team. And mind you, I think I'm playing with they were probably middle school, were on my team. And this kid was like really cocky, and I don't know this kid from anything, but I embarrassed him. And yeah, it was bad. He didn't know I could jump. He didn't know I could get by him that easily. And all this trash talking that he started with ceased. It stopped fast. And then at the end of the game, he's like, oh my God, yo, where are you from? Da da da. I'm like, I'm from Coatesville, blah, blah, blah. And back then, I probably didn't look as old as I was, but I was like, I don't know, maybe 32, 33. And so it's so funny because at the beginning of the game, I mean, he just looked at me like it was just like I was nothing and tossed the ball. By the end of the game, he's like trying to be my friend. And it was just funny, right? And I wasn't mad, like trying to kill him. I'm just like, I felt like I needed to teach this kid a lesson, like you should respect whoever's in front of you. And it was probably embarrassing for him because it was in front of his friends. But the crazy thing is, by the end of the game, he respected me. He respected the ability that I had. And I was sharing with this other person that, yeah, I'm adopted. And if my biological family would have raised me, I would have still had the same athletic ability. And I was raised by my adopted parents. I still had the same athletic ability. If I was raised by someone down the street, I would have still had the same athletic ability. And I was sharing with them that your gifts, talents, and the things that you have in you, it doesn't matter where you're from or who's raising you. I know when I was younger, I thought like, I wish I had, my biological family so that they could, it would have made my life different. The thing that I failed to do earlier was to realize, regardless of who I'm raised by, the gifts and talents that are in me are in me. They went with me. They were in me when I was in Coatesville. They were in me when I was at Kutztown, and they're in me where I live now. And so I was saying to this person, don't look for a perfect spot or a perfect person to come help you become who you are. There's enough inside of you. And that, yeah, maybe you experienced the foster care system and you felt like it was unfair. And maybe it was. And maybe things didn't go as you would have wanted them to. But you've got to frame it, like we talked about last time, in a way that benefits you. Like, you're allowed to take your past, you're allowed to take the things that you've been through and frame it in a way that it helps you today. Your past belongs to you, and it is up to you to look at it in a proper way to help you. And to help you with the gifts and talents and abilities that you have. It's so funny, I was at a Coatesville Springford game, and high school game, playoff game, a couple months ago. And Coatesville has this freshman kid who's pretty good. I was like, wow, that kid can play. He's 6'5", he can play. And I was like, man, everybody's getting to see this kid's talent. And everybody in that gym could see. Like, I saw Springford, it looks like they were switching off of every screen to guard this kid, because this kid can shoot. He's 6'5", and he's like 14 years old. It's crazy. But then as I'm there, and probably my friends would say sometimes I think too deeply, but this is just the reality of what I was thinking. There's a kid on the bench that's got talent that doesn't look like the kid out there that everybody sees. There's a kid that got cut from the team that's got talent that doesn't look like the kids on the basketball team. And sometimes we look at, I think the kid's name is Hiller, and we say, man, he's fantastic. And he is. Like, if you don't know him, you will know him. But there's a kid that's in the stands that's an artist. There's a kid that's in the stands that's a writer. There's a kid that's in the stands that's a coach. There's a kid that's in the stands that's a teacher. So whatever is in you, use that. You don't have to be, I think his name is Hiller, and he's great. And he's going to continue to be great. Like, this kid's good. But what's in you is for you. And use that. And I can tell you, I struggled with it for years. And I was a good athlete. I had a mental block. I shared before, like, to go from not being able to dunk to dunking however I wanted to, there was something mental blocking me. And I didn't recognize it at the time. And I hope that if there's something blocking you, whether it's mental or whatever it might be, that you take the gifts and talents that are in you and you look at them and you sharpen them and you work on them and you work on them for you and you become you. There is only one you. Become you. Whether it's a teacher, like I said, a writer, an artist. I have a friend who is actually the friend that helped me dunk, Andre, who he's on social media, and I I get to see his art, and he's out in California, and I am so impressed. I'm so impressed by what he's done with his ability to create art. Nobody else can do that for Dre, but he's doing it, and he's excelling at it, and I cheer him from a distance. But maybe you're the next artist. And yeah, maybe you were in foster care, maybe you were adopted, maybe your childhood wasn't what you wanted it to be, but you're allowed to be you. So don't look outside and compare yourself to anybody else. I'll tell you something that I did, and I hope you'll take the time to do this. Hope you take the time to take a pen or a pencil and a piece of paper, literally, not a computer, a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, and write down your gifts and talents. And then what can you do with your gifts and talents? And think about how you can better your life with your gifts and with your talents. And don't look to be the next X, Y, or Z. Be the first you. Give yourself permission to be the first you. And realize, like, the sky's the limit for you. And you never know who you'll affect. And like I said, this kid in the Coatesville game, he did fantastic. But there's somebody in the stands that's also going to do fantastic. You just got to believe in yourself. And when I share with this person, is that you're the first you, and allow yourself to be great, because you can be if you allow yourself.